Ready to drift off to dreamland? Hello, my name is Julia. As a little girl growing up in France, I found solace in listening to my mother reading me a story before bed. Stories have always been a way for me to magically escape. Through gentle storytelling and a warming voice, I'll guide you toward a peaceful night's sleep. Discover the healing power of connection and love as we unwind together. Let's create a sacred space for mental well-being. Close your eyes, let go, and let the magic of storytelling lull you into a deep and restorative slumber. This bedtime story is called The Moment We Became Us. So close your eyes and let us dream away. I didn't see you coming. No, really, I didn't. I was late to meet my friend Emily at the cafe. The plan was simple. Grab some coffee, catch up, and complain about work. Just like we always did. The sun was shining, and the little bell over the door jingled when I stepped in. I was scanning the tables for her when I saw you instead. You were sitting there, sipping a latte and reading a book, like you belonged in a rom-com. You know the kind, effortlessly good-looking, casual yet intriguing, like you were just waiting for a meet cute to happen. But I wasn't supposed to meet you. I was supposed to meet Emily. Yet the universe had other plans. Excuse me. Are you waiting for someone? You asked, glancing up from your book with those deep brown eyes that would become both my sanctuary and my downfall. I should have said no. I should have politely walked away and found Emily at her table by the window, where she was already waving me over with an exasperated expression. But something made me pause. Call it fate, call it curiosity. Whatever it was, it anchored me to that spot for just a moment longer than I normally would have. You smiled. Not one of those overly enthusiastic grins, but something softer, like you were offering me a secret. And I wanted in. I am, I said, glancing back at Emily. But not right now. I can still remember the way your eyebrows lifted slightly. A small hint of surprise crossing your face before you quickly masked it with your calm demeanor. You gestured to the empty seat across from you. I hesitated, but I was already in too deep, wasn't I? So I sat down. Just for a second, I told myself. Just until Emily noticed and dragged me away, but she didn't. She was watching, sipping her coffee with a knowing look, like she had orchestrated this whole thing. What are you reading? I asked, eyeing the worn book in your hands. The Great Gatsby, you said. Ever read it? I nodded. Of course. Who hasn't? You chuckled, and I swear the sound wrapped itself around me like the warmth of an old sweater. A classic, you said. I reread it every year. It reminds me that sometimes you can't escape the past, no matter how hard you try. I looked at you differently after that. There was something beneath your surface, something you weren't showing the world, and I wanted to know what it was. I'm Ella, I said, suddenly feeling the need to introduce myself properly. I'm Daniel, you replied, extending your hand like we were meeting in some formal business setting, rather than over lattes and literature, but I shook it anyway. Your touch was firm, but not overbearing, confident, but not arrogant. It was a handshake that felt like a promise. For the next 10 minutes, we talked about everything and nothing. The conversation flowed like we'd known each other for years, not mere minutes. Emily remained in the background, allowing whatever was happening between us to unfold naturally. And I'll admit, by the time she finally waved me over, I was reluctant to leave. I have to go, I said, standing up reluctantly. But this was nice. Yeah, it was, you agreed. Maybe we'll run into each other again. I wanted to tell you to not leave it to chance. I wanted to say, ask for my number, you fool. But I didn't. I just smiled and walked away, hoping the universe would give us another shot. Turns out, the universe was listening. It was 2 weeks later when I saw you again. This time I was sitting in the park, enjoying a rare day off from the chaos of my life. You were jogging, sweat glistening on your forehead, looking like some magazine's idea of the perfect man. I remember my heart skipping a beat, when you noticed me. Ella, you called out, jogging in place as you caught your breath. Daniel, I replied, trying to hide the fact that I was blushing. It had been 2 weeks, but that same instant connection flared to life the moment you said my name. Funny running into you here, you said, a grin playing on your lips. Is it? I teased. Or are you secretly stalking me? You laughed, shaking your head. If I were stalking you, I'd be doing a pretty bad job of it. I haven't seen you in 2 weeks. Well, I'm here now, I said, patting the empty space on the bench beside me. Sit with me. And you did. No hesitation this time. We sat there, talking again, letting the world blur around us. It felt like we were in our own bubble, where time didn't matter and nothing else existed. People passed by, birds chirped, the wind rustled the trees, but none of it reached us. We were cocooned in that moment, and I didn't want it to end. I learned more about you that day. You told me about your job, something boring to do with finance, but you made it sound almost exciting. I told you about mine, teaching high school English, and how it was both rewarding and exhausting at the same time. You listened intently, nodding in all the right places, like you genuinely cared about every word that came out of my mouth. It was easy being around you, effortless. We started seeing each other after that, slowly at first, a coffee here, a walk there, but it didn't take long for things to escalate. Soon I was spending more time with you than I was with anyone else. You were charming, funny, and incredibly thoughtful. You always knew when I needed to laugh and when I needed to be held. It was like you had some sort of sixth sense when it came to me. And I started to fall for you. Hard. But here's the thing about falling. Eventually, you have to hit the ground. It was a Wednesday when everything changed. We were at your apartment, lying on the couch, watching some terrible movie neither of us cared about. Your arm was around me, and I was nestled against your chest, feeling completely at peace. But then you shifted, your body tense beneath me. There's something I need to tell you, you said, your voice low and uncertain. I sat up, looking at you with concern. What's wrong? You hesitated. I wasn't completely honest with you about my past. My heart clenched. Those words never led to anything good. What do you mean? You ran a hand through your hair, clearly frustrated with yourself. I've been married before. The air in the room shifted. It was like someone had opened a window during a storm, and now everything was cold and wet and uncomfortable. Married? I echoed, my voice barely a whisper. You nodded, not meeting my gaze. It was years ago. We were young and it didn't work out. We got divorced, but I haven't really talked about it since. I didn't know what to say. You had dropped a bombshell in the middle of our perfect little world, and I didn't know how to react. All I could think was that I didn't know you as well as I thought I did. I should have told you sooner, you said, looking at me with regret in your eyes. I'm sorry. I wanted to be mad. I wanted to yell at you for keeping this from me, for making me feel like I was just a part of some rebound you never got over. But I couldn't, because deep down I understood. You were scared of letting someone in again, scared of getting hurt. And who could blame you? Love was messy, and you'd been through the ringer before. But still, I needed time to process this. I need to think, I said, standing up. I need some space. You looked devastated, but you didn't try to stop me. You just nodded, understanding that I needed to be alone. I spent the next few days in a fog. I couldn't stop thinking about you, about us. I thought about all the little moments we'd shared. The laughs, the kisses, the quiet times when we didn't need to say anything because just being together was enough. But then I thought about what you'd kept from me, and I felt betrayed. Still, I couldn't stay away forever. So a week later, I found myself back at your door. You answered, looking surprised but hopeful. Ella, you breathed. stepping aside to let me in. We stood there in your living room, neither of us knowing what to say. Finally, I broke the silence. "I've thought about it," I said softly, "and I'm not going anywhere. But you have to be honest with me from now on. No more secrets." You nodded vigorously, relief washing over your face. "I promise, no more secrets." And that was it. We didn't need to say anything else. We just fell into each other's arms, letting the weight of the past lift off our shoulders. In that moment, we became us. Not perfect, not without flaws, but real. And sometimes real is enough.